Back here on campus with the legendary Coach Ernie Willingham of the Collinsville Panthers and another edition of the Collinsville Panther Preview Show with Coach Willingham. Coach, last week we had offensive coordinator Tanner Nelson in with us. He did an outstanding job. And then you knew last week going in you had to face a familiar foe, and Riley Edwards, who spent many days over here in Collinsville, has been on your staff before. You guys handled business ultimately 39-6. Take us back to last Friday night and what all transpired in that game.
I tell you what, Coach Edwards did a good job, and Mark Patterson's there also. I don't know if you know that or not.
I didn't know that.
He is Riley's defensive coordinator. He was here for a couple of years with us, and they did a good job. They had a good plan, and I thought they played a lot better against us than they had looked on film. You know, they kept the ball a little while and had a couple of things throw at us on defense, but you know, we scored the first time we got the ball, and they stopped us a time or two. And their little quarterback did a good job. The little quarterback can run around, and he ran some counters and an option player too, and he wound up sticking one in to tie the score up, and then we started rolling a little bit. We stuffed him a few times on defense, and hit a big player too, and pulled away a little bit.
Coach, I went back and pulled some numbers, and I did go that a while, but if my math's correct, you guys have outscored your opponents now at least 76-6 on the year. It's pretty impressive in 2 games. It's very impressive, actually. But with a bunch of young guys, how do you make them realize that we still got a whole lot of work to do, even though we performed really well these first 2 weeks?
They understand that.
That's good.
They're not crazy. I thought we played a little flat the first 2 weeks. We came out a little flat, and they got that from watching film. But it's not going to be the case this week. We should know that we're playing a really, really quality opponent. And they're hitting on all cylinders, and we're hitting on most ours. So we're expecting to have a really good game with them, and our kids we're gonna start preparing. Today's Monday. We start preparing today. The coaches started yesterday, and we've got a plan, and we're just gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, and you mentioned this week's opponent. You're playing Luke Pruitt, and I believe the second-ranked Pisgah Eagles. I think they're second-ranked now.
I hadn't seen this. If it came out this week, they're second. They were third.
Yeah.
But if it came out this week, they could have bumped up one. But
they're second or third.
Either way, they're really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And he does a great job with them. And we had a really good game with them last year. They wound up beating us, I think, 40-28 or something over one score. But they scored. We were ahead. They scored the last 2 times. I think we were ahead 28-26 in the fourth quarter, and they scored the last 2 times to pull away there at the end. But they got everybody back. They got everybody back. You got to move in. And we don't have everybody back. We got a lot of people back. And they're playing good, and we're playing good. So it's a matter of who can come out. It's at our place. Maybe we can get a big crowd here. The crowd really helps. Our crowd are good. We have a great crowd usually, and our kids feed off of that sometimes. So I hope we have a big crowd here.
I think that is going to be the plan here in Collinsville. I expect a big crowd. I'm actually going to come to this game myself on my way up to do the show. But yeah, last year's game is very competitive, and this week the computers that makes the predictions has it a 1-point game either way. So I expect a close game. What is it they do offensively? I watched them play last week against Sandrock. They seem to put a lot of pressure on defenses. They're constantly attacking. They spread you out, things like that.
They got a lot of kids. I mean, they got a lot of athletes. They got a really good running back that was a running back last year. A really good quarterback who was a quarterback last year. They got more than 3, but 3 really good receivers, and 2 of them were there last year, and one of them was in Sylvania. One of them moved from Sylvania, so they've got 3 quality deep threats that got good hands, good size, good speed. But they put a lot of pressure on them because they got great athletes, and their line's pretty good. That's right. They lost some linemen, a couple of linemen, but they do a really good job.
Coach, you mentioned something that's very key in this game. I think on your behalf, it's the crowd here in Collinsville. I've seen these guys before live off these crowds here in Collinsville when I've come to previous games. how important is it for everybody in the city to get out here and support these guys, man? Because this is the atmosphere you want to have.
We need our kids juiced. We need to play emotional, a little bit emotional, and it wouldn't hurt to overachieve a little bit. Obviously they're ranked. You said second, I think third. They're ranked second or third, and that's deservedly so. They got beat by the team. They got beat by 5 in the semifinals. They made it to the Final Four and got beat by the team that won the state. So, they're not overranked at all, and they're playing really good right now. So, we need every advantage we can get, and the home field is one of those. They got to juice us up some.
Ain't no doubt. What would it mean for these young guys you have to get a victory like that? I mean, just from a standpoint of not obviously region standings wise, but then just the standpoint of defeating a team like that. What would it mean for these young guys?
It's a long season, but this is a big game. Early in the year, sometimes the big games fall early in the year, and there'll be a lot more to do after this game, no matter whether you win or lose. But it puts you in the driver's seat for a home playoff. Last year, Fife was first, they were second, we were third. North Sand Mountain was fourth. I think Sandrock was fifth. I mean, there a lot of teams failing there right together, but there's a lot more football to play. But these kids, be a confidence boost for them. They think they can play with everybody, but we really haven't done much yet.
Yeah.
It's a matter of if we actually do something and see what happens.
One thing I like about, and I'll let you attest to this, and you know better than anybody does. One thing I like about football, high school football, it separates itself because you can be in basketball, you can lose every single game in the regular season, get in that area tournament, win it, go to Jacksonville, win it, go win the state. In football, that ain't the case. Every game matters, especially region games. How important is it in these region games, each and every one of them?
Every game's important because the standings come in, and it makes a difference where you fall into the playoffs.
That's right.
Last year we wound up got beat by Pisgah. They were second, and we were third. And we had to go to Fallville, and Fallville had a really good team. And we had to go there, and they wound up making it to the fourth round. And we were fairly comparable to them. So maybe we could, maybe we couldn't. You don't have teams match up like that, but it makes a difference playoff wise about what kind of draw you get too.
That's right. 100%. And finally, Coach, who are some of the guys you got to lean on in the games like this? I mean, some of these guys that's got some experience that you kind of look to lead the other guys out there on the field, so to speak. The guys you got to kind of hang your hat on this week that you need to step up for you.
I tell you what, everybody better play good this week all the way through. The offensive line is going to be key. We got one senior, one sophomore, and the rest are 11th graders. We got 9 of them that play up there, so they've got to do a good job. That's offensive, defensive line combined, but they've got to really do a good job for us. And all those young guys got to step up. But on defense, Eli Griggs is back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's huge. He played a little bit last week.
He was injured at 7-on-7 or something.
He got hurt playing Cedar Bluff, as a matter of fact. 7-on-7, he jumped up and caught a ball and broke his collarbone.
Having him back's huge.
He played about he didn't play half. He played some last week and got back in. So it's good to have him back on defense, and he's a leader for us.
That's good.
We need him. Titan Morgan back there. And some of those seniors are going to have to step up. It's their turn.
Yeah.
It's their turn to step up and show us the way.
Ain't no doubt about it. Just give me some final thoughts, Coach, before we shut the show down here, just about this week in general and where you guys are, this far along in the season.
We hope we're still improving. We're going to try to get better today. That we saw some things in the tape that we've got to correct. I've got a list in my pocket right now. I got 13. I got 13 points that we really got to
get better.
Yeah, well, there's more than that. But I got 13 things that we can't do everything. But I got 13 things in there that we need to go over again and polish up, and just little details, and need to get better every day. And hope by Friday that's good enough.
That's good, Coach. We're going to shut this episode down. It's an honor always sitting with you, and if you guys are looking to come to a very good football game right here in Collinsville, Alabama, I know all eyes. From my average Joe standpoint, from Southern Torch standpoint, it's going to be here at this game. This is a huge regular season football game coming up. Coach, looking forward to seeing you guys this week, and I'm also looking forward for a packed house and seeing the best backdrop in high school football out there as that sun goes down.
You're right.
That's all we got this week with the Coach Ernie Willingham Show. We'll be back next week, and see you guys then.